Welcome to the Tearing It Up podcast. I'm your host, Taryn. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow. Recording is on.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. So excited that Amber and I are actually sitting here, looking at each other and can touch each other.
Yeah, we can touch each other.
Not through the screen. Here I am in Washington, and we were just talking about the vortex of the Pacific Northwest weather, how it's just gray outside at a lot of times during the year, and you just totally lose track of time. I feel like I was up early, not super early. I mean, I didn't, like 7. And I'm like, I got to the gym and I got here. It's 1:30. Like, how is it taking me 6 hours to do all of that? But I did talk to my mom for like an hour, and then I FaceTimed Andrew, and and then we talked for a good hour before recording.
Yes,
so
yes.
all needed, all necessary, but I wanted the cold weather and the wet weather, but then it really makes it hard to be productive.
Yeah, the gray is heavy.
Yeah, and especially when I feel like the afternoon is kind of like the time I need to set aside to see people, because that's when everyone's off work.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I'm here, I need to get anything that I want to do personally, like workout or work or study for this fucking certificate that I need to finish by Friday.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah, I need to do it like by 3 every day. And well, that's not happening today.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I did tell TK just to call me when he's off, because I got stuff to do, but just see what's going on in his day. You know, I might not be able to go over there and hang out with the niece and nephew today, because I need to get this other shit done, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. I can see him tomorrow.
Or you could be like super Taryn and just bust some shit out.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, it involves a lot of reading.
Yeah.
And I can try and speed read, but I also need to retain a little bit of it.
yes, that's the struggle.
But we'll see. But I'm so excited to be here with you, and that we've gotten to, it's already been a week and a half, and we've gotten to hang out quite a few times. I've seen you not more than my brother, but just you two out of the most. But that's been the trend. I feel like when I've come up the last few times is like brother and niece and nephew time and Amber time.
Yeah, I
love it.
definitely tried to make a huge effort to spend a lot of time with you when you are here.
I know.
And it's also nice for me because I'm like, sorry, Taryn's in town. I have to go out, always. I have to go to this thing because, sorry, Taryn's here.
Yeah,
so.
your excuse to get out of the house.
Yeah, but also, I mean, like, we go way back.
I know, 20 years almost.
You have to hold on to the ones that you're still cool with.
I know. And, like, you actually enjoy.
And are growing with.
Yeah, Jason and I. So the night we went out, like when I got into town.
That night.
Yeah. And you and
we
Joe
were out
like,
till 2
a.m. 2 a.m. Like, whoosh.
Yeah, that's big for us.
Big. But you and Joe, like, kept having conversations, and then Jason and I would have, like, our own conversations, and we brought up that this year will be, like, our 16th year reunion.
Wow.
So he's like,
from graduating high school.
So he's like, just in just a couple
insane.
years, you know, it'll be 20, and like I think he went to the 10-year reunion. I had no interest. I was like, it feels like that we graduated yesterday. I don't need to see these people.
Yeah.
But he loves that shit, and I'm like, maybe I'll go to the 20. I still feel like there's no fucking way that it will be 20 years since we graduated in 4 more years.
Or that much time has passed.
Yeah. Like, because I see people and it's like, it's good, it's great. And we can all get along fine. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to go to a reunion because I'll see people I don't want to see when we can just, you know, hang out at your house and call those people. Yes. And when we all get together, it's like no time has passed and it's fun. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly why, like, the reunion was awesome. And I'm like, but again, like, I don't have an interest in seeing the people that I don't want to talk to.
In the era of social media, when you can just, you already know. You already see and you already know.
Exactly. That might also be why for us, it doesn't feel like, well, for one, I feel like my parents' generation or something that by the time they had a 20-year reunion, they, like, almost had 20-year-olds.
Yes.
And a lot of us, like, still don't have kids, or they're, like, young kids, like, under 10. So it just doesn't seem like, in social media, you can keep up on them all. It doesn't seem like a 20 years of past because you didn't raise a 20-year-old. You have,
and even the people that you don't want to see, you still follow on whatever fucking thing. Totally. So you're like, cool, I don't need to be bombarded with that fucker.
I did start to, a long time ago, like, just delete people from Facebook or whatnot, because I'm like, I was never even, especially because Facebook, I feel like, got more like popular once we were in college. It was like, I think I had one in high school, but it was more MySpace then. Yes. So,
and you had to be in college.
Yeah, you had to have the college email. Yeah. And so it got more popular in college, and so that's when people from high school would, and we had, like, just Facebook and kind of moved from MySpace, so people from high school would request your friendship, but it'd been a couple years since we graduated, and I would, like, say yes, but even at that point, I'm like, well, I never even fucking talked to you in high school, so why do I want to be your friend in Facebook? Just because maybe we're taking classes at the same college right now, or saw you downtown, or I don't know, we're still in Tacoma, but, like, we weren't friends then. Like, why are we going to be friends now just through the internet? Yeah. Like, I mean, whatever, people do become friends through the internet, and that's fine, but yeah, so I just slowly over the, like, years have just been like, nope, wasn't interested in your life then.
Don't really
not
care
now.
Much. It was wild what Jason was saying about Jerry's life and how successful that guy is. That guy from high school. His mom lives right down the road.
It's crazy.
It's insane how you, like, you have these people that you go to high school with, and you're like, oh, this person's that, yada, yada, yada. And then you actually go into the real world, and then what ends up being all these people's lives 20, 10, 15 years later is like, what?
Super curious to see. And, I mean, it's funny because I feel like that's how movies are, something where, like, the popular jockey people, like, end up becoming not amounting to much, and then the people who got bullied or picked on or just weren't very popular are, like, these great, successful people. Yeah. And it's totally what happens in real life. And I just like to think and hope I'm just still riding that average wave. Yeah. Like, I had plenty of friends and whatnot in high school. And I don't think I'm unsuccessful, but I'm not the most successful. I think I've done a good amount of things, but
laying low.
Totally, just skating on by. Like, I didn't peak in high school, and I'm still just at that average state.
Yeah, I was for sure like a late bloomer jock.
Totally. You know what I mean? It happens. So that kind of is funny. It reminds me of just the conversation we had with Nikki about doing sports as an adult. Because I was looking at, when I just stopped at this coffee place, they had a flyer for Tacoma Rowing Club, and upon further investigation, it was really towards high school and college students, but it did say, like, learn to row adults, and it reminded me that I had a conversation with this woman that's really bothering me, that I don't know for sure who it is, but I have a pretty good idea.
Here in Tacoma?
No, in Truckee, about a rowing club in Truckee, and they, like, row at sunrise on Donner Lake, like, every day or something. And because it was a sport that I wish I knew about.
Yes, or got into.
Yeah, I wish I got into it. Okay, so I did know about it because Jeff Ducharme fucking rode, and Joe.
Jenny Olmstead rode.
Yeah, but
Alicia
at that time, at that age, I was doing all the other things, so I didn't really want to add that, and I wasn't that interested, like, in rowing on a team. Like, I love the water, but I don't know, I just didn't know enough about it, I guess, to get interested. And then it's popped into my mind throughout the years, and this was probably a couple years ago now that I even talked to this lady, pre-pandemic for sure. But then seeing that flyer reminded me about it, and I was quickly trying to, like, type some stuff in and see if I could find something that popped up, because I don't know. They're like a team. I think they've gone to a competition or go to, like, one big race or something every year. so I don't know how I can find them, because with my new not career change, but
position.
Yeah, just taking on a full-time position and kind of figuring out what I'm doing with training and paddleboarding. Not doing that full-time, but still doing it. But I was like, this might be a good time where I can do that, where, yeah, what if that's what I do 2 or 3 days a week in the morning, is go row, like, on a team.
Yes.
Like, I still have this craving, again, like I've said, of why I started CrossFit in the first place, was looking for that, like, a community, like, people that I can hang out with and find a crew, no pun intended. So, but I think these are older women, but what the fuck ever. I don't care. I would like to be a part of something, because CrossFit's awesome, everyone's supportive, but it's not like a team.
Exactly. Yeah, I was totally going to say
that. No one really cares if I, like, show up, or I don't have, I'm not accountable to show up besides for myself. So I was like, yeah, that would be cool. I really, really, like, crave being on some kind of team.
Yeah.
And I was thinking on my way to Washington, it's like, shoot, I got to figure out when softball starts. Because, again, maybe this year I can play softball again. Because they started it up last summer. They had the rec teams, but I just didn't think about it. And by the time I did, I was just, like, too invested in other stuff that I was like, no, I don't want any commitments like that this summer outside of my focus on business. But now I'm like, no, I want those extracurricular commitments.
Now that you have time, and it's
I just feel, I don't have the stress of trying to run my own business to be my sole source of income, where I feel like I didn't commit to those things because I wanted to have every hour of the day open for the possibility of training people. And I never got a good grasp on setting my boundaries for work, to where, like, nope, I don't train people past 6, and I don't train them before this time. It was just, like, whenever. And so my days were always split. I just was not using my time efficiently. Thus, my energy wasn't being used efficiently.
Plus, you weren't the caller of your shots, you were training somebody else, so it was like whatever they needed.
Yeah, and it's really hard to work with someone else's schedule and your own, and it was hard for me to say no when I didn't have a valid, in my head, a valid reason.
Like, you need me to pay your bills.
Exactly. So I want to look into doing some stuff like that again this year. I was thinking that maybe my boss, the owner of the store, it's like, maybe we can have a TMS softball team.
Yeah.
But I'd have to look at I need to look into the leagues and do some research first, because we have to find enough people that the people who are closing the shop might, there might be 2 people. If everyone wanted to be on the team, not everyone can be at every game.
Yeah.
If we have games before 6:30.
Yes.
So I'll need to look at the different leagues and schedules and see what time games are and stuff. But it'd be cool, because it'd also be a way that I think we all get along.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has different work ethics or ideas, and, maybe...
But work is different than
Yeah,
play.
exactly. We all get along inside of work.
Yeah.
But, we might have more people we prefer to do certain things with at work, or get...
And it's always nice to see your coworkers in a
fun
space.
environment.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime we have our team parties or get-togethers, everyone has a great time.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to
even when
to
you're
have
hating
that.
it.
Yeah. So, I want to look into that too. But again, I want to be careful of, like, over-committing. But it just gives me something to do too, instead of, like, what do I do after work now? Because last summer, it was cool to not have... Well, in 2020, there was no commitments because there's nothing available.
Yeah.
And then last year, I just did have a couple clients, like, later in the day, not super late. But yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit of a fuller schedule in the summer, instead of... once you're done for the day, like, well, what do I do in the evening now? Like, go spend money at the bar? Like, no, like, we got a game. And that can involve drinking too sometimes, but it's different than being at the bar. You're still being active. You're outside. You're enjoying thing. And
And camaraderie and teamwork.
Yeah.
And there's so much to be said for being on a team with people.
And I love sports.
Yeah.
I love playing them. I love that competitive, nature without, having to be too crazy. So, I never rode before.
Yeah, but it's such a good workout.
Yeah, totally. And so today my workout today, there is a bunch of push-ups and rowing.
Yeah.
Rowing is also something I feel like I'm not getting that I could be more efficient in, and I really want to learn better techniques on the indoor rower of what the hell, I feel like I have so much power, so how can I get faster?
Yeah.
I feel like there's still something inefficient, and I have room to grow. And then push-ups are just my fucking demise, man. I did banded push-ups.
Damn.
On
your wrist?
No, for support.
Oh.
Help, for help.
Okay.
And from my knees.
Yeah.
Because I did
I'm trying to imagine what that looks like.
Yes, because it is hard to imagine if you haven't done it. So you would do it under a bar, under a pull-up bar. Because have you done band-assisted pull-ups?
Yes, I have.
So you hitch that band to the bar.
One of your foot in the bottom.
For the pull-ups. But for the push-ups, you... typically it would be 2 bands because they need to hang very low. So I had 2 bands hooked together to the bar, and then you go into it.
Okay, yeah,
and put your body into it, and it's on your hips.
Got it.
So you have some of that pull
on your core.
Yep, right out your hips. So when you go down, you're getting help on that push back up.
Okay.
Because the going down part for a lot of people can be easier. But still hard for some who are, really getting into doing them and learning body weight control, still going down. But the going up is where you're going down, I'd say, is more, kind of gravity and have control of your body to stop and not just face plant. But the push up that's where you need a lot more strength to push all that body weight from the ground up. So it was a lot of push-ups, which is why I did the band, because I knew that
there were going to be a lot.
Yeah, because it was 65 or 80. I did the 65 number, but earlier in that workout was bench presses. So you're same kind of
I want to do some bench presses.
Yeah, same kind of movement. So I set up the bands, and I wanted to do full legs straight. Yes. So I knew I'd need help, but I only got a handful in, and then I was like, I have to do these from my knees now, and even then I could do a couple, 4 max, and then my left arm just doesn't fucking push up.
Yeah.
And it's I've been working on these more, not every day, but again, there's just some things that when you don't see improvement on, you're like, what the fuck, why? But I feel like a lot of the reasons I've been going to the naturopath and stuff like that are because of situations like this where I don't feel like I'm nothing's paying off.
Yeah.
Whether it's losing weight or muscle gain. I feel like I'm just
just even functioning as a person with a body. Doing push-ups, doing pull-ups, doing for me, with the injury, coming up from the ground from a complete squat, say that it's so hard.
Yeah.
Coming
totally.
Or stairs. I don't know. I hear you.
It's tough. And I at least was in a better place where sometimes I'm not. It just depends on the day, but that I wasn't really getting that down on myself. But it's super frustrating of why isn't this getting better? Why? There's a few things I noticed that I'm stronger in, few movements, and I know that it's always a slow process, but I'm it's fucking push-ups.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I could do a bench press at a heavier weight than push my own fucking body up off of the ground. Mm-hmm. And the other day they were in my warm-up and I'm doing them, and I was I don't think I breathe when I do push-ups. Yes. It's the hardest thing. Is I'm not breathing very well in them.
How do you prefer to breathe when you do your push-ups?
I don't know. That is one thing. I really try and focus on my breathing in a lot of exercises, right? And exhale on the exertion.
Yes.
But I feel with push-ups, it might just be a mental block because I hate them so much that I really don't think about it because it still should be like on the exhale.
Yes.
But I just try and get them as many done as quick as possible because I know I only have so many in me that I guess I just need to slow them down. I think I've said before there was a time period I would like try and do 10 every morning because this was like years and years ago, before like personal training, but I was like, man, I really do think I feel better throughout my whole day if I start with a little bit of movement. So like right out of bed before coffee, like just 10 push-ups and 10 squats, and I feel like I'd notice a difference in my energy level rather than like getting up, sitting down to drink coffee. And it's so hard because you want to have that relaxing morning sometimes and like, oh, I don't have to work till this time. Let me sit down with my coffee and like enjoy it. But if I do that, then like my day can be shot. I'm like, I want to do this the rest of the day. So I have to. This is why I'm like mentally more of a morning workout person because it's usually sets the tone for the rest of my day. And if I get out and do it later, and while I've been here, I've been working out much later than I normally do at home, but I'm not as pressed for
time.
Yeah, even though I like said earlier, I feel like I have to have everything done by 3. It's just more flexible. I don't know, but
vacation mode.
And I've been trying to also here, I'm like, well, eat before, a little something before working out. And when I'm working out at 6 or 7 a.m., like I'm not getting that fuel. And it's been recommended that I have fuel in my body before working out. So I got to figure out how to fuel better. Because I have been noticing, I was even just trying to eat like a half a banana before working out because that's got some carbs and you don't need to eat much. And I would say I noticed like a difference, quite the difference, when I even just have that in my workout than like have nothing at all. But then I question it because I'm like, I actually literally have to record every single day because as a woman you have to look at every day of your cycle too. I'm like, is it a coincidence? Is it because I'm in that part of my cycle where training is easier or like I can go harder?
More energy.
Yeah. So I want to just had this thought just now, like do literally every day full months of recording that kind of information so I really have something to look at instead of like a couple days a week I'm recording and not putting things like, and I have an app. I have a fucking app that tracks my like period and my workout, but so I could just use that and in the notes say ate half a banana this morning. But for me, it's much easier to look at like on paper.
Same. And
be able to compare because even on an app, you're like have to scroll and see the next day, and you're like, wait, what? So, I'll print out a Google like calendar template, maybe even and write in every square like cycle day 1. Ate half a banana. Did this workout. It's just insane that's what I feel like I have to do to fucking figure out my body right now.
Yeah, it is. And what's a month? You know what I mean? For figuring out something for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
And it with, it might not be. It might be a few months or a year just with fucking the way women are. But it's still, like 1 month instead of 6 months of figuring things out. Like, it could be a very helpful key. And I think, for anyone, even if they're not going through all the processes I am necessarily to figure it all out. Even for you and your knee, of just recording every day how you're feeling like in squats or something.
Yeah, definitely. Or just going downstairs. Or picking up my kid. Or coming up from kneeling down.
Yeah. Oh, my knee. So God. So when I hurt my hip, I was having a lot of trouble like externally rotating it, and then couple weeks later, like, hurt my knee. Don't know exactly what I did. I think it just twisted weird. It was already hurting when it hurt my hip. But I thought things are getting a little bit better, but now in the last week, like, because when I did hurt my knee, I could still sit like butterfly, like that.
Yep.
I can right now because I'm on the couch. I can sit like this, but I can't like cross. Like, for longer than like a second again on the couch because I'm down. But whereas it was in my hip, now it's my knee and like I would be trying to sit like this with Delia, and I'm like, can't, have to straighten.
Yep.
So I've called the doctor, trying to get an appointment because I can't just get an MRI, even though I'm like, this day and age, can't I just tell you my fucking knee hurts and you can recommend an MRI?
Yeah.
I have to make an appointment for a doctor who's not an orthopedic to say,
let me refer you to this. God, the fucking loops.
And so now what? It's gonna.
It'll imagine be like 3 months out,
exactly.
4 months out.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
like, just get me an MRI. Can we just like?
And
you know, you want that money from me getting an MRI,
like,
but also it's like you're employing like 3 other people and then
so
people being like,
this is why you don't
go to physical therapy? Yeah. Oh my god, it's so dumb.
This is why when people get hurt, they don't like do anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, if I'm getting an MRI for my knee, I wonder if that means I can just look at my hip while they're in there too.
Right.
I feel like something is just like out of whack, out of place or something, and maybe I could just go get a few massages or like body work in that area, and that might help with the hip. But just the whole left side's fucked up, and so just with working out or moving, it's not even about like trying to do CrossFit injured. It's about daily movements, because I already know like in squats or doing anything. Yeah. So I'm just like, God.
I think I did snatches in my workout this morning.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They were like the single arm ones where you have like a weight and then you go bring it really close to your
Yeah.
And I did it, and it was so much better than the bar because it didn't hit your tits.
Yep, with a dumbbell you can avoid the boobs much better.
And my back wasn't hurting, but I did wake up this morning with like my shoulders are so fucked up, and I almost went to like one of those like quick massage places to get a fucking massage.
It could be from the push presses we did the other day. I mean, unless they felt messed up for a while, like more than just sore, but if they're sore, like just muscular sore, we did do those like
and
cleans
I did
and
do
presses.
like a shoulder back yoga thing yesterday, so I think it could have been like waking up the muscles that were like, help us, and not having enough water. Speaking of water appreciation moment, cheers, Terrence here in person!
Yes. But whatever, you know what? It doesn't matter what it's from. If it's fucking sore, then like go get a massage.
Yeah.
I mean,
have you done much with chiropractic work?
None. And so that's what with my hip I was thinking about
because they might be able to work like your psoas or
exactly. So with that, I'm like, I don't know. Do I go to a chiropractor?
Try it all, man. Figure out what works best.
Yeah. So I called the doctor fucking twice today, and I was number 6 the first time, and I was on my way to the gym, and it said leave a callback number, and so I did that because it says you won't lose your line and your place in line for the queue.
Oh my gosh!
Never got a call back, and then I'm leaving the gym. I'm like, it's been an hour and a half, so I call on my way here, and I was number 3, and I did the callback number again. Still no call, so this is annoying because I just want to get in to try and see when the quickest I could get in to have someone tell me that I need to go do this.
Go see this fucker, and then you can see that fucker, and then you can finally get your MRI.
Exactly. So like,
or go see another fucker.
God! It's like, do I go see, like, just wait and see how that goes and see if they can just look at my hip too while in there, or do I go to someone in the interim, like I know this guy who does body work, and my, so I'm like, can I just go to him and just see what he says, like, muscular about it?
Him.
Or, and then, like, because it's weird. The way that injury happened, just falling, like, straight on it, that's the reason I feel like something is maybe, like, a little out of place, or, like, there's never, like, a pop or anything, but I have no explanation for the things that hurt in my hip and how it moves now, like why it doesn't want to move in these certain ways from the way I fell on it. And I can see how, like, going to my knee, because it's like all that external, so like all those muscles down there laterally, to see how it all connects. But my knees caused me issues for a long time from hyperextending it a bunch and popping it, and I've thought that I've blown it like years and years ago, but this has been, weeks now, and it hasn't gone away. Normally gets a little bit better, but
also
causing pain and getting worse.
Old,
yeah.
Man.
But
I was going to say earlier about the like being on hold thing.
Oh,
I have a Google phone, and it does this thing where it's like, would you like Google Assist to call you back when it's your turn on hold? And so you can be like, yes, motherfucker, and
That's
you
so
like
cool.
hang up the phone. And the first time I did it, I was like, oh god, what if I don't hear it? And so I did it, and it was awesome. And Google phones are killer. Sponsor us.
That's awesome, because these callback things don't fucking work.
Yeah.
And like, there's no way that you're still talking to those two people who need to make an appointment.
Yeah.
It was just scheduling.
Yeah.
If I was really the third person, it shouldn't have taken that long. So I'll call back after and just leave it on hold. But yeah, like just the hoops for any kind of medical care, especially these days when there seems to be no one working at all, even doctors.
Yeah.
That it's annoying, but also just getting older and moving your body in any way. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
What the fork.
And why it just blows my mind how it's not natural for us to understand what's going on with our body, how to fix it.
Yeah.
And like just how separate like the mind body connection is totally like severed for most people.
Oh yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of work. I mean, I've been in tune with my body more than most people, I think, but not more than most people in society, but I think you have to. Anybody who moves their body like athletically, or works out like to a certain extent, is in tune with their body.
Hobbies, like these,
like you're in tune with your body,
or just manual labor. For
Yeah,
fuck's sake. But even those people are like, whatever. I'm just gonna have a beer after work.
Yeah, so you're in tune with your body because you can recognize that, like, oh, this hurts my legs or my arms are sore or something. But then that connection like ends there because you're not like, what can I do to like, oh, if I move this way, it doesn't hurt it. So I feel like I've gotten more in tune with realizing like, yep, my body doesn't want to move that way. It likes to move this way. But it takes so much effort. So much effort. And I feel like getting in tune with it internally, like what I've been doing lately, again, just takes so much fucking effort. It has to be like a daily check-in.
Yes.
And logging of information.
And if you lose it for one day, you're like...
Yeah, well. So I just don't know how... Like, when was the time period that people were... Like, the majority of people were really in tune with their whole body?
Probably before colonialism.
Yeah, totally. Like, and I mean, also, yeah, like, I mean, like, when they're fucking roaming the earth and we're like, I'm hungry, my body says, so I need to eat, and my body wants to eat this grass. So, like, because as soon as food started being made or processed, like, at all, like, you were just eating that because that's the only thing you could
hunter-gatherer.
Yeah. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah. How disconnected we are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you being here. So you've been here for a week, and I like to say we because we have done a lot. I went to the CrossFit gym with you.
Yes.
That was cool. That was the first time I had ever worked out at a CrossFit gym. And I'm bummed that I had that weird, like, back thing that happened.
Right.
My lower back. I think it was, like, just from all the jumping.
Yeah.
Which, damn, I'm old, but...
Well, when you haven't done it in forever.
Yeah, or ever.
Yeah.
Like the snatches. I haven't ever done that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I have. I think I have.
Well, you did because we did cleans that day, and it could have easily been just from, like, that first move, like I was saying, of like deadlifting the barbell up to position, and being in like a half like hang position and not having core. I feel like when you're starting on the floor, you have a second, you're like you can engage, but then when you're just like learning a new move and starting from a different position,
your
like,
concentration is not on.
Yeah, you're not engaging at the right time or in the right place.
Yeah. And, you're totally right.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is, so, like I was telling you, like, just, it's a CrossFit, we were doing a CrossFit quote unquote workout, but many of the moves you'll do in any kind of strength, not any kind, but in a lot of like boot camp kind of, or like high intensity class, like Peloton, you're doing snatches, you're just doing dumbbell snatches instead of barbell snatches. So, because CrossFit overall, became like how mixing all these different activities so you could be the best at any activity at any time. Like the CrossFit Games, the big competition every year, they don't tell you, months in advance what the workout's gonna be.
Yeah.
They announce it like last minute, so that's, you spend your whole year training for every single thing that exercise, because once that's announced, you have to be able to perform that at the best. You don't get to just practice this workout over in only these moves. It's about like, being the fittest on earth, which means like you can do anything at any given time and be like the best at it. So that it's all functional movements. Well, per se, like, not to everyone's life, but but that's the idea, is functional fitness with it. So yeah, it's like a lot of people have seen these movements before if they have a background of working out in like boot camp, high intensity type classes. If you're new to working out at all, then they're probably all going to be new movements. And I just feel like people get intimidated by CrossFit because when you see the people who like really represent the sport, they're fucking animals.
Yeah, and they are just so cut.
Yeah,
and
so
fit
cut.
And like doing all these scary movements and noises, and you're like, what the fuck?
Throwing huge weights around, jumping around like beasts, big, like, bulky looking kind of people, and it looks like you wouldn't be able to participate in that sport unless you looked like that.
Yes. Or honestly, with most fucking things.
Yeah.
Like when you go play soccer or fast pitch, or you're like, oh, I don't look like, but that doesn't. Yeah. Or do like bar class. What I mean? Like, or yoga classes. Like for everything, you're like, I don't look like this, but
totally. When there's anything that is a streamed line or has a following of any sort, you're gonna, the people who represent it mostly, whether that's just for ads or anything. Yeah, you're like, I don't look like that, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't fit into this.
Yeah, but until you... Because I was afraid to do CrossFit forever. Like, in my 20s and whatnot, and a lot, too, is because of the cost of it. But also, I was just like, it's way too intense. Like, I don't want to be, like, dead after every... I like working out, but I also, like, don't think I can handle doing that every day or 3 times a week or something. But until I went to a gym and actually saw, like, there's a lot more inclusivity to it than is shown. It's like, man, anyone can fucking do this. Especially if you go to the right place where it's not a competitive gym and people are not like
cutthroat.
Not like comparing themselves to you or talking down at you. Everyone's just like, there's athletes at the gym I go to who compete and coaches who compete, but they still are like high-fiving the 70-year-old who's just moving a 15-pound barbell. They're not like walking in like, look at me, I'm about to be the best. Like, if they're trying to be the best at that workout, it's for their own
personal gain.
Not just so they can say they're better than you.
That's so nice. Because even in like LA Fitness or whatever, those kind of gyms, there's an ego about it. That's why I go to the YMCA, not only because I'm a mother and have a kid, but because there's not that ego. I mean, there is, if you, like, there can be,
everyone.
Exactly. Everyone is different, but there's such a weird ego. And, like, I went to like Planet Fitness with a friend recently. I'm glad I've been trying all these different gyms. Like, I'm glad I went to the CrossFit thing with you, and like I am a member at the Y and then went to Planet Fitness. But it was just so funny, the difference of the vibe at Planet Fitness, where it was like all these adults and like people doing whatever they were doing, and like how certain people walk a certain way. You know that walk where it's like, I'm
look at me,
I'm buff, and it's just so bizarre, and I don't know what it is, but I also am not that person.
Yeah, so it does take, I feel like either you have to be really comfortable with yourself and your workouts where you don't fucking care if anyone's looking at you. You're going to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Or you have to try different places. But this is why so many people, I feel like, get turned off from working out because especially in a place where they might only have one option or their finances might only allow one option, and that's the like cheapest place to go or something, but where they live, that most affordable place might be a lot of meatheads that they don't feel comfortable working out because people just like look at them. So this girl today, so I mentioned, I don't really want to say where just because I'm not saying anything bad about it, because when I've been there, there's not been anyone there. I haven't been there for a class.
There was no one there when we went. That was so cool.
I don't know, but I mentioned how the front desk person, like, didn't say anything. And it's like, it's not a regular gym. I know that, but still, you still are an employee of that place. So you still represent it. So you should still look up and say, hey, how's it going? And nope, not the whole time, just on her phone. And you could hear.
Today?
Oh, no. Yeah, this is... No, the other day that I went. You could hear the videos that she's, like, listening to. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a gym, whatever. You're hearing noises. I don't care. But it's just funny to me that you still haven't looked up and said, like, hi. Again, just look up and say hi.
Especially a new face.
Yeah.
Because in gyms like that, it's tight-knit.
Exactly.
Who you do or do not know.
And sometimes you don't because if, like, so at my gym, it can be so separate for the majority, the people who go in the morning versus the evening.
Yeah.
So people have been going to this gym for, as long as it's been open, but could go to an evening class and not know a soul.
Yeah.
But the coaches do, right? Because they filter through. So as a coach or a member of the gym or employee of the gym, you probably have some kind of idea. Or even if you don't, again, like... Yeah, they don't have hard, fast rules of checking in, but I was just, like, blown away that, like, there was just not even a look-up of acknowledgement because I had talked to you of, like, I feel like this place is a pretty tight-knit group, and I bet people are super nice and supportive, but it did kind of still give me that LA Fitness vibe because no one cares, no one's looking up and, like, saying hi, and today there was one chick in there working out. She was, like, in the back corner, and then, she finished up her workout. She came over towards the front, and I was setting up for the second part of my workout, like right there. And she was doing a couple things, and it was a quick thing. She got up to go, but very quickly we kind of like made eye contact, like saw each other's faces, and I smiled, and she just like turned and walk out. And I wasn't sure if she was on the phone because I did hear her say like a couple things, but also I talked to myself. I'm like, okay, doing this. Okay, I gotta grab that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she was, but still. I don't know, there's been times where I've done that and realized too late that they've...
was putting on...
Yeah, or like saw someone smiled at me and I was already in the motion of like turning and just didn't look back or something. But I felt like it was long enough for her to like reciprocate like the smile and nod.
Especially and I was now just that we don't wear masks right now.
And that could be a thing too, right? Of people just getting used to like, facial expressions.
People can see my face.
Totally. It took me a minute to like get used to that for sure. And I'm not the most like smiley person. When I go on walks or hikes, I am not the first one to smile and wave and say hi. Sometimes I am if I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
But I can walk by someone and not do that because I feel like for me it's because coming from a city and I just have knowing that people are going to do that too. Like moving to Tahoe, people are much more friendly. And
than
so I got
here?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And people got I got more into like being that smile, say hi person than I ever would have been here. But then recently in the last couple of years of more city folk, like you're noticing people are not as friendly as they used to be. So I did have the thought today of like, oh, well, actually I don't know because we are in the city where it could be like, this person could be like, I'll never see you again because maybe it was a fluke that she was there at that time or I don't know. It just did make me feel like, yeah, the community is definitely different.
Yeah. But also usually for me, if I am on a walk or a hike or whatever, it's like, oh, someone doing the same thing as I do.
Yeah.
They're living a similar life. We do
at
the
least
same
today.
thing. Yeah, at least today at this time. And it's, I don't know, there's like camaraderie in that.
Yeah.
So I acknowledge, but I'm a different ball of sunshine.
You are. And that's why I love you. And that's why I have people like you in my life. And I try to, I've gotten better about doing it. 'Cause if someone did it to me, I would say hi and wave back.
Yeah. Especially if it was like someone that you hadn't seen before in your gym.
Well, at the gym is like, I mean, on a walk, like I said, I'm not always the first one. I started doing it, started getting better at it, but then it kind of went away again because people are not reciprocating it at all on the trail anymore, and that's weird. But yeah, in the gym, I had a real problem with it because I'm like, as an employee at all, you need to look up and say hi, and I fucking hate that. Especially in a gym, in a smaller gym community.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't an LA Fitness where you're just, like, you could be coming from anywhere and you're in for the day. Yes. Even then, that's your job. You should do it. But in a especially smaller, like, community, I feel like, like, hello.
Yeah.
Some kind of, it was, I don't know, it's kind of weird and, like, I don't know. There's no way you knew I was, like, from out of town and... And even if I am,
or
like,
maybe
welcome me.
Because if you were, because you
I'm trying to tell a bunch of people about this gym.
Yes, and you hit this gym up being like, hey, I'm out of town. Can I get a week session? Yeah. You would think that this gym would be like so welcoming. Yeah. So like accommodating and would tell all the employees because there's probably like what 5, 6 people who work there. I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of weird of not having that. Like,
and how you said it was kind of hard to get in. Like, you were like, they weren't replying to your emails. Or there was like a weird response.
No emails. They do not answer the phone.
Yeah.
But like, you can just show up. But you also don't know, there's no one always just sitting there. So if you do just show up, you're just like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
So kind of that vibe of like, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked it a lot because it is open. Yeah. It's not a gym, like a separated corporate gym with a bunch of just machines and a little bit of free weights. It's the kind of gym that I like that has all the equipment that I want to use, but is also open.
Lots of room
at like
for
any
activities.
hours. Yeah, you can go in and have open gym anytime, because my gym in Truckee that I go to, like, there's only open gym for an hour and a half from like 10:30 to noon. Which I like going to the classes. I prefer going to the classes, but some days that just doesn't work with my schedule. And so if I go to open gym, I just want a little more space, or I want more time to be able to do it. Like, can I come at 1 or 2 or 3? Because on the days that I do go to open gym, then that usually means I can go at those other times too. So it would be super cool if it was big enough to where like you could do classes and have the space for someone to do their own thing.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about this gym, is the space that it has to be able to operate a full class. Yeah. And you could go in and do your own workout, which I wouldn't really like to do during a class anyways, because, you know, they have priority of the equipment. Yeah. And, but still, again, just the space is impressive that they have in there. Yeah. It's super cool.
It is cool.
And I would definitely go back.
Yeah.
But also because I know people who go there, so I know it's a quality place. And the people are obviously good enough, welcoming enough for there to be long time returners and whatnot. But I think it'd be a much different experience if I went to a class.
Yeah.
And because it's open gym, that it's just a little like, you're expected to just do your own thing.
Yes. And
that's what's expected at that time.
Another thing about this gym is like, maybe the people are like, oh, this person's showing up. I don't want to like bombard them and be in their face when they're trying to work out. Because when I did go to this Planet Fitness gym, oh my fucking God.
Oh, they try to get you.
There was this guy.
Anything they can.
Oh my God. It was just so weird. It was like a character in a fucking movie. Like the guy at the gym that's greeting you, that's like, hey, we're gonna get you this month. Woo! Let's work out, pals. And it was just like so bizarre. And my girlfriend and I were like, just because she was like, she had an interaction with this man before and was like, I was gonna warn you about this guy, but I'm glad that you like,
saw it yourself,
saw it firsthand. Because I was like looking down writing something and he was just like, woo, hey, we're gonna get you. And I looked up and was like, what the fuck is happening?
This is so funny.
And I just didn't respond. And I'm like very like
responsive.
Yes. Yeah. So it was just so fucking weird.
to catch you off guard and make you feel like, is this real? Is like a lot.
Is this guy for real? Well, and he was like a shorter dude, so I was like, maybe he's. I don't. Yeah. Just being like a judgy, first impressional bitch. Yeah. But whatever.
Well, that's the thing that I and many people hate about those kinds of gyms is they're just like in your face, won't leave you alone to get your own, because all they want to do is sign you up. And I mean, I brought people to. I remember going to Bally's before it became LA Fitness.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and I think I brought Andrew Medina with me one day. We were like going from TCC, and so you get free guest passes, like one a month. There's something like really lame. It's not much, but when you do that, they don't even let you just come in and go work out. Like, they're like, oh yeah, do you have time to like talk before or after? They want to give you a tour. They really intend for, by the time you're leaving that 1 day pass time, that you're going to be signing up for a membership. And I think it's like, no, just let the person come in and work out with their friend and let them decide if they want to come back, instead of feeling all this pressure that they have to sign up. They put the pressure on. They make you feel like you can't leave or you can't work out without signing disgusting. Up. It is. And so, yeah, I do think it's important for people to try out many different places if they can, because a lot of places you're just not going to vibe with. And until you get to that point where you're comfortable working out, we're like, yeah, I'll go to a LA Fitness anywhere. Well, when we had them, we actually still do have a membership that my mom pays like $10 a month for. We've been grandfathered in so long. Nice. But I could go to like Michigan and go into the LA Fitness.
Yeah.
And not pay anything because I have that membership. Or I can come here and find a gym that suits my needs and not, feel awkward doing a drop-in. But a lot of people don't feel that way. And so if you never have a place that you feel like can get comfortable in, then you're never going to feel comfortable like going anywhere else and trying to do it. And with my certain goals that I have right now, like, I didn't want to just work out at home with body weight or light weights or Peloton even, because I hate my mom's spin bike because I'm just a spoiled brat now. But I've just been really wanting to like move heavier things and do more high intense things, and it has become in the last few months like something I crave so much. And I always crave movement. Yeah. But
when you raise the bar on yourself, you're like, I gotta keep on going for that.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I hear you on that so hard.
So it's hard to not, but yeah, because I'm comfortable enough. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I hope I want to go to the open gym when I know no one's there because I want to try this movement. Like yesterday, there was toes to bar, this movement in there, and I don't have it, but I've been practicing it, and but there was going to be a class, so I was like, oh, wait, I can't go. I have to wait till after 10 now because there's going to be a class, and I don't want a bunch of people looking at me flail around and do this.
What's toes to bar?
It's holding a bar, like a pull-up bar. You're holding onto it, your hand. But you bring your toes to the... and it takes it. You're not just lifting it.
It's like a huge swing thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, I've been told I'm good at it's called a kip, that I have good range in that kip, but it's still just getting the toe up there, so I alternate. But really, the fucking bars at this place they feel different than the bars at my gym,
like texture wise,
or width? Yeah, because there's different textures of bars, basically how they're coated. Like I think the ones that at my gym are like powder coated, and they just feel different.
Yeah, 100%.
So these ones were like really fucking smooth.
Yeah.
So it really hurt I'm calloused from 2 days, doing pull-ups one day and then those toes to bars the other day, and so they're so smooth that it would hurt my hands so much. I was like, this is going to rip my hands from not even doing that many movements because this bar is just different from what I'm used to. And I don't use grips. I could get those. But that's the thing that gets me in those movements is the fucking grip. Because it's 200 pounds hanging. I'm obviously men and plenty of people at my weight can do it. But it's just a whole nother aspect of the movement is it. The biggest thing is hurting my hands. Today in my workout, there was just a dead hang for 30 seconds. And I did some yesterday too, but the first one I did, good. I couldn't hold on to the bar for 5 seconds.
Oh no.
I was like, ow, this fucking hurts. But my second 2 other sets, like, were fine, and I did it the whole 30 seconds. But first thing in the morning, like, holding on, I was like, no, everything hurts. It's also cold as fuck in that gym.
It is cold as fuck in that
It is so cold.
And it makes the metal cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I start with my puffy and this, like, long sleeve sweatshirt I have underneath, and the whole warm up with that, and finally took my jacket off, and I left my sweatshirt on the whole time bench pressing, and I only took it off for the last half because I knew it was biking and rowing and I was going to get hot. So I just took it off. But when I was rowing, I did a 2,000 meter row, and I was fucking cold. Like, just my face was cold. Like, I'm sweating, but still cold.
And it's like afternoon.
Yeah. I was like, they keep the temperature down in the CrossFit gym that I go to, but they'll, like, turn the heat on in the morning.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a little bit of a cold start, but it's such a smaller space, and then so everyone's moving. Like, you get hot, and then I have to, like, fucking go outside to be able to, like, breathe. But this place is just so big and tall and open, warehouse. And I'm sure there's, like, no heat, because it'd be useless to put heat in, because it would just be a waste of money. But I was just like, that the last couple days, that's really been deterring me from going early, because I'm like, I'm so fucking cold. Yeah. I haven't been, like, able to really warm up, like, that much. I am for a little bit, and then I get cold again. But yeah, I'm super glad you came, and
that was killer.
I think that if you went to the classes too, you could really get into it. For sure. But I'm such a proponent of all these movements, because I love doing it. So I'm like, I want people to do what I love, so that I can talk to them about it.
Or even just in general, when you find something that you're like, I fucking love this, and it makes me feel so good, and I want other people to feel this feeling
exactly.
that I'm feeling. I think it's more so that than being like, come do this.
Okay, and that's why I feel like I've struggled with that, because I haven't found people in, like, or connected with many people in Truckee who want to do the same workouts that I do. Plenty of people who love activities and do the things I love, but not with lifting heavy weights. And so that has bothered me, that I'm like, I still don't have, like, that one friend who, like, enjoys this.
Yeah.
And like, even just one friend. So I'm still just, like, looking for that fucking unicorn person who I can, like, talk to and do that with, because I have plenty of people to do everything else with, and I love that, and I'm thankful for that. Just like we were talking about, you know, your partner in life, whether that's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, like, whatever, isn't necessarily going to be the person who does every single thing with you. I think the only reason that sometimes I wish that Andrew would, like, get into working out and come to the gym with me is because I don't have that friend in that one activity. It's nice to have at least someone in life. So I have plenty of friends to do everything else with. Like, in a partnership, it's different to say, like, we do this together, but then we have our own activities. But you still have friends that you go do those with outside of your partner. But I don't have that with the heavy weight lifting, so sometimes I'm trying to convince him to be my person for that. But
and it could be really good for him.
It could be. I mean, it would be. It'd be good for anybody. But yeah, we'll see. I'll still probably work on him, just because for my own knowledge too. Like, I want him to work out. I know his job is physical labor, but there's plenty of people who also work out and do that, and I would just feel better if he had a nice routine of, like, moving his body and being strong and healthy.
When you have a partner who does do those things with you, work out, run, whatever it is, XYZ, being anything physical, it just makes it you so much more amped to being, like, accountability buddy.
Yep. Exactly. A built-in accountability buddy, and, like, if you're traveling, then you have someone to, not that we travel, like, a lot together, but it is always nice when you're on vacation to have someone else who is interested in working out. There's some vacations where you're like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not moving my body. I'm not working out.
I'm laying on the fucking beach.
And that's fine and great. But I love to do it, like, anytime. And so I always wish, like, in Mexico, I wish I could have gotten more, like, actually worked out. Yeah. But, you know, that's not really Becca and Hillary's thing. They like to do some yoga.
Yeah.
We didn't even do that and should have taken advantage of it. But yeah, that's just been
and you guys went to
we went to Sayulita. We went to Puerto Vallarta, and then we were only there for 2 days, and then we went to Sayulita for 4.
Okay.
And so if you can make a trip there happen, you just totally should, because I think anyone and everyone should go to some part of Mexico, I think. And just go on vacation. Go to somewhere you haven't been anywhere. If anyone can do that, like, do it. But it was great. It was great there, and I think you would just love it. So
would you take a child there?
It's hard for me to say I'd take a child anywhere.
Yeah. I have one. So I asked my girlfriend that too, who had been to Sayulita on a girlfriend trip, and I was like, would you travel with a child there? And she was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely something you'd have to ask if they've been there, ask someone who's been there and who has a child. Because I have no reference of, like, I don't know, like you said, I wouldn't take them anywhere on vacation.
I wouldn't
like,
take them to the grocery store.
Like, really hard for me to say that.
Yes,
but there is a lot of families and stuff there. Do you think that it's because it's a more like it's become a more populated place, and again, like, double-edged sword of kind of being Americanized because, like, you're not getting the culture.
I mean, you get it, but it's not.
And then
authentic.
just some things becoming, like, I mean, you know, it's nice to go to these places where it's different. And there's a couple places I went, like a great coffee shop and, like, organic food and bowls and whatever, but I was like, this just feels like, you know, like being in Hawaii or California, not like I'm in Mexico, because it's like, cool, I can get these things that I love, but I'm also like, this is like costing me just as much as being like at home, and like, and I get this experience at home anytime I want. So like, why am I doing that here? But this fresh juice sounds really fucking good. And like, not a taco. Like, I've been loving the tacos, but like a nice frozen whatever granola smoothie bowl sounds amazing. So because of that, I think that it would be more family friendly for sure, because it would make the transition, like, easier of having a kid there than totally taking your kid out of their element and them not knowing what to do. So I think of many places that would be a better place for sure to have, especially like an older kid, Quincy, you know, like, that you can actually talk to and have a conversation with, would be.
Oh, he's so cute. He would be so cute in Mexico.
He would love it. Play in the ocean. Yeah. And there's plenty of beach where they have, like, bigger breaks and littler breaks. So plenty of spots where we went to this one. I think it was Playa Los Muertos. And just outside, just on the other side of, like, the Sayulita, like, proper beach. And they had a little, like, swim buoy area.
Cute.
So, so that was great. I mean, he wouldn't be anywhere above a certain height of water without you in it with him. Yeah, he better. But just having that, like, buoy line was still like, oh, it's the swim area. There's a lifeguard too, I think, at that beach, which in my mind from Mexico is like, what? But yeah, so I think it'd be a great.
Cool.
Yeah. It's exciting. I hope you are able to go.
Me too.
And so you said that you were going to, or that you had an appointment for UW-T.
Yeah. Going to get advised on getting back into school.
Yeah, so what would you be doing? What would you be going back for?
So that's why I want to talk to somebody, is because I want to narrow down a career path. So for this job that I applied to with the city that I didn't get was called a natural resource specialist. And I don't necessarily need a degree for that job, but I would love to have a career where I'm working outside in nature, however that may look like, whether it's on a construction site in downtown Seattle or like in the woods somewhere doing testing, whatever, and working inside. So I would also love to work with water. So something like hydrology, geology, and even like sustainable design or architecture. This is like, that's like a step up from what I think, but who knows? I'm still like fresh in this potential career path, and I just really want to get a career that I feel like will make a difference in this world, for my community, myself, and my kid. And yeah, I would love to have like a fancy schmancy career that's like, here's $1 million.
What's your degree in right now?
I have an Associates of the Arts, science and arts, but with an emphasis on environmental science, because
that's what
I went to that tech college, and so it was, all my classes were environmentally
That's what I thought you did
science-based.
that program, so I wasn't sure what exactly your, like, what it said on paper.
Yes. So when I look for jobs now, I'll type in environmental science, and the jobs that are offered in environmental science, a lot are like cleaning and remediation. So like cleaning up hazardous waste sites and like dealing with a lot of nasty, dirty stuff that makes me depressed.
Wow.
So that's why I feel like I need to shoot for something higher, like education-wise, and plus just higher education is great. I mean, it's stressful and it's hard and it's scary to go back every time, but it's so good to teach yourself more. And I know that we live in the day and the age of internet, and you can teach yourself anything. You can look it up on Google, YouTube University, whatever. But for me personally, I need the structured paths, and I need someone to like show me the way and like teach me the things, and like have these like regimented like steps to take. I just, for myself, I need that.
That's the same way I feel, and that's where I started the personal training journey before jumping back in for kinesiology. For one, it was really hard to find a program near me because at that time you needed to be in school because it has labs and things like that, and it wasn't an online degree. And now you can find some online kinesiology degrees, which still I'm like, I just don't trust it.
Is
yeah. But you know, whatever, that should be fine. But for me, the personal training thing was like, a way to get back into just like learning.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to jump into school and then like be like, not for me.
Test out the waters, if you will.
And it was like, just a few month long thing. Because I know also like I can't do a long-term online thing because I need to have to like show up and be somewhere. And I like to ask questions. I know a lot of things can be on Zoom and whatnot, but it's still different because then I'm more likely, I feel like, on a Zoom like presentation of school of not asking the question, especially if a bunch of people are, but in person it can be easier for me that having that structure. And I don't know if it's because like that's how we grew up, but there's plenty of people our age who grew up with the regular schooling and can learn on their own just fine. Yeah. But I can't because it takes a lot more work to get myself to do it and to understand. If I don't understand something, then what do I do? Yeah. Who am I going to go ask? Yeah. Ask Google and you get 500 answers that are all different.
Mm-hmm. Or you spend like most of your time trying to figure out what you don't know. Yeah.
I just like to be able to ask the question about a specific thing because sometimes there's just one little thing that, dude, sometimes in this book, the certification that I'm doing, just the way the question's worded, and if I'm already like, deep in and it's the last couple questions or whatever, I've done a couple chapters, just not in it. It's a simple question and I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah. Like, is this the right answer? Uh-huh. Like, am I interpreting this correctly? Because I just feel like something's not clicking. Yeah. So if I were to like ask someone and they could reword it, then I'd be, yep, got it,
clicks different,
got it. Yeah. And so not being able to like reframe things like that is hard for me. But that's really exciting that you want to take that step and go further and dive further because of that end goal of just being. And that's the thing, higher education, people may be against it, especially in this country because the cost is stupid.
Yeah. With it. Yep.
But I personally think it still is a major part of some of these types of careers. Like, it's easier for you to probably start higher by having the degree.
Education, yeah.
Some jobs you can get by with having experience and hands-on and field work and stuff, but I still do think there's a limit in a lot of things that you're not even looked at or taken serious unless you have the bachelor's. And I think that you're at a pivotal point in what you're doing, because either you go the route of just taking any job you can and having experience and trying to slowly come up the ladder, or do you take that same time that it would take to do that, or maybe less time, and go to school and try and get a better job right out of school that you can from there go up the ladder. Like, what how do you weigh it out?
Yeah, it's hard.
You just have to at some point choose one path.
Yes.
And you have chosen the path of working in that field, and the jobs have not been making you very happy. That's harder to be like, okay, I gotta just keep sucking it up. But like, what if it doesn't go anywhere? And going to school can also allow you to network with other people.
Yes.
Like, open different doors to you of different possibilities. Yes. And then you can narrow down maybe which way you want to go. But if you're stuck like in this
at
field,
a job doing a one position
you
thing,
might not be getting that experience or opening those doors as much as like being able to talk to people and learn different things at the same time instead of just focusing on whatever that job is. So I think it's awesome to go back, and
thanks, Fran.
It's a commitment for sure, especially being a mom, but so it's getting a full-time job to get the experience. So what the fuck do you do?
I know, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, so Quincy's going to be starting first grade next year, and I'll be starting whatever year I'll be in towards a bachelor's, and we could just go to school together, and it could also help me be there for him because I would have similar schooling hours, and we can just
do homework together.
Yes.
My mom went back to college when TK was going to college.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
She went back to get her coding certificate or degree, like associates.
Yeah. And
she did a medical
that's
coding.
So great. That's so I love
TK was going to
about...
TCC, and that's when my mom went back.
At 2 TCCs too.
Yep.
That just makes me so happy to hear that people are like in their 40s, in their 50s, 70s, going back to school.
And I mean, she was 19 when she had TK, so college wasn't just a thing for her anyways. I don't think she would have wanted to anyways. And I think that's not what... It's being more talked about, I feel like, but it's hard to graduate high school and then just say go straight into college now and decide what you want to do for the rest of your life.
It's so hard.
I mean, even me just going back for the personal training certificate was like, I can focus more now than I did when I was 19 trying to do one online class, and I like failed it then because I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Fucking forgot about it. Every week Jordan would be like, did you do this homework? And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I'd never checked my TCC email.
Yeah.
Because I just got an iPhone that had email on it, but you couldn't link your email up to your phone at that time. Yeah. The TCC...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, that's throwing
So I never checked it.
Crazy.
So I just didn't know what the homework was. And so... But yeah, just being at a point in life where it's something you actually want to study now instead of being
open-ended.
And associates was hard because you have to take, again, it's just like in high school, you have to take all the classes you don't want to. Mm-hmm. So until you're at the point where you're taking only the classes that interest you, then you're like, fuck this. And it was hard. It was a hard bump for me to get over. So once I finished my associates, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, but having years and years of still thinking about kinesiology was like, okay, I think I could go back because now I'll be taking all the classes that directly relate to what I want to learn.
Yes, and you learn so much, and your brain gets bigger, and like you just know the world in a different way because of all this knowledge that you gained, and it's so fucking cool.
And when you're older and like maybe paying out of pocket or sacrificing family time or just sacrificing more than what you were as a kid, makes it more important and easier, a little bit easier to focus on, because you're like, no, I've put the time and the money or whatever into this. I have to like do well, as opposed to just being young and not caring.
And your focus is different when you're younger, at least for me. I mean, and it's not that for everybody. Like, we were partying.
Yeah. And so I finished TCC and I went to UW-T for 1 quarter, because they did quarters, not semesters. And or maybe it was it's a semester. It's high school that does quarters. So I did a semester. But I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, nope, I'm done. Because, again, doing that, I still had to take a couple classes I didn't have in my associates that I needed for my bachelor's in general studies. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm going to pay this much money to study something for general stuff. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
what is that?
What is that?
So yeah, I was like, nope, not happening.
A degree for someone to get who doesn't know what they want to do, but
they have a bachelor's.
Yes, but they
because
have a bachelor's.
There's plenty of jobs that are just like, must have a bachelor's degree. Why?
Yeah.
Why? But yeah, very cool that you're doing that and taking those steps to do something else. Yeah. I was saying the other night at Caitlin's, like I said, a lot of people I know right now, whether they're close friends or not, it just feels like the whole world, many people are at a pivotal point in their life of changing the trajectory of their life by making these like big decisions where, it's going to affect their whole life. It's not just like, I'm going to have this for dinner. I'm going to go on vacation here. It's
or I'm going to do this job for the next 2 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I know who have a choice to make, and it's going to be a whole different life by making that choice. Yeah. I feel that way. Even me just like taking the full-time position at the shop is like a big trajectory change, because all my stuff's going to be on the back burner, but I'm going to be more financially stable. And just having that for me is going to change. I think it's going to change my fucking life. Yeah. I think this whole next year of having this experience is going to be like, maybe it won't be for me. Yeah. Maybe things will change after that. But I think at least having a year of a stable paycheck. Yes. It's something I've never, ever, ever had, and I'm 30 fucking almost 4, so it's gonna be life-changing for me to be able to get my feet under me and be able to actually make real life adult decisions. Yes.
So excited for you, and very proud of
Oh, thank you so much.
For getting this salary gig, you bad bitch.
I'm gonna be trying to probably, still do some paddleboarding or classes or something, but just on my own terms of like, maybe I'll just do private bookings for paddleboarding, especially for like the 2 months of summer that we really have. Yeah. It's like bachelorette party Saturday. Cool. Yeah. Go make a few $100. Yes. But it is, I don't know how much I'll do, and that was my worry about committing to this, especially as like, I hope, what if like other people like Andrew or his mom or anyone is like, well, what about paddleboarding? You're just like not doing that. But I think overall, like, they're gonna support me if I'm like happier and we'll all be happier in life if Andrew and I are making big moves at the property and we have now the time, like we both will have a schedule instead of me being all over the place with not the funds to do it. I think overall it's going to really help us this summer for me to have this. So I'm excited about it, and get a little worried of like, if I don't do any paddle boarding, like, are people going to be like, well, you have all those boards, you're not doing anything. It's like, yeah, but how can I work 40 hours a week plus do all that like every week? I can definitely do it. People work 80-hour weeks, but like, the point of this is to be able to work normal hours with a normal paycheck and like take some of that stress off. So 100%. We'll just see how it goes. Also just have to see how the summer goes and how smoke goes and the pandemic that, it's lessened, but we still you just don't
East
ever
Coast,
know, right?
I heard that East Coast mask mandates are back on.
No
China,
fucking way.
There's like this new variant in China that's fucking them up. But I've been looking at numbers for around here, and numbers are low, so I'll just take that for now.
Yeah. You just gotta go roll with the punches, but again, it'll be nice to at least be on this, because if anything changes environmentally, pandemically, whatever the fuck, economically, it'll be much easier to have this than to be like, no one can be outside because there's fires. Nobody wants to travel because of mandates or whatever. Yeah. So pretty cool. It was like take the offer or go all in on business, and that's how it's been the last couple of years of like, all right, but it's just so hard and stressful, and people fucking do it, but I was just not at a place where I need a little break from doing that. It's not working out the way I need to mentally or physically for me, so being able to step back a little is good, and figure out how I could make it a long-lasting, sustainable business. But at the rate I was going, it wasn't working out for several reasons, because one, I'd be burnt out every 2 months. Yeah. And then just not giving my best. And
it took away from like the things that you like to do.
Exactly.
So
I was stuck, but having
some consistency.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
As much as flexibility as, having your own business can have, I was also stuck a lot with the paddleboarding aspect for time frames. So yeah, I'm stoked to be able to I can go on a bike ride. I say every year though, just like splitboarding, I'm gonna bike more, and I bike less and less. But I just really want to make an effort to be going out biking more, and not being closed off to doing things in the evenings or whatever. Not having such I can only work out in the morning. I've been exploring CrossFit different times of the day. Yeah. So that I do feel comfortable going to a 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock class in the evening, not the morning. But yeah, I'll also feel better about my life if I'm at least biking. And so I only went to CrossFit twice this week. At least I went mountain biking 3 times or whatever, Yes. Be all right.
I hope you get to go mountain biking more.
I know. Oh god, I get this friggin' knee looked at.
Yes, do that.
So the bike I want is not available they have one in Nevada close by in Sparks at the shop that I could buy, but I can't order it and get it shipped to the shop I want in Truckee. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it will become available again. But that's what I saw this morning that made me call the doctor, because I was like, okay, yes, reel it in, because that's what I wanted to do was get my knee all checked out and figure out where I am with that before I spend money on a bike that might not be smart to ride. Yeah. Because if worst case scenario, it was highly advised for me to have surgery, well, I should whip that out ASAP.
Yeah, ASAP.
So
ASAP.
Yeah. Especially if I could get it done. And that's where it was also taking this job and meaning that I don't have to lug around 10 paddle boards and 300 plus pounds of equipment daily. Yeah. Then that means I can fix my knee if I need to, because I have a job
where you can sit down and
I mean, I have to be on my feet, but still it's not being as active. So
or it just being all on you. Literally all on you.
I don't have to show people how to do exercises. Like I said, lug all this crap around. I can do my job to 100% capacity while fixing my body.
Yes.
So I felt like that was also good timing of all right, I've wanted to get an MRI on my knee for 10 years.
Crazy. Yeah, get that. And then, so what are your plans for the remainder of your trip here?
Andrew's supposed to be here tomorrow, Thursday?
Yes, it is.
So yeah, he'll be here hopefully, and Thursday, tomorrow afternoon or Thursday evening, and definitely by Friday morning, and then we just have a couple days to hang out So just hang out with the family and yeah, see. The weather's supposed to be really crappy tomorrow.
Of course.
Saturday. So if he gets here Friday, who knows? Just hang out with the kids and TK and the dogs. Easter's Sunday. I think we're going to be at my parents'. And maybe do some little Easter egg hunt. But then we'll be on the road Monday, I think.
Crazy.
So yeah, not much. Really trying to not make any plans for the rest of the time that he's here, just because things are just so up in the air, and harder to plan with having the dogs and with the weather being so finicky. So really just spending time hanging out with as much of the fam as possible. So we'll see. We have these kind of hopes and dreams of maybe having a fun little trailer or fifth wheel.
Yes.
Going home with us, so that we can start to live in it on the property. But I don't want to talk too much about that just because
yes.
I want to just when that happens, then be able to talk about it and not put too much out there with, because I'm still like.
In the thinks, it's in the thinks part. It's in.
I want it to happen. I want to manifest it,
yes.
But I also don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah, and
have all these thoughts and dreams, and then be like super bummed it didn't happen. So I'm like, I have a hard time of like, planning for the worst, because you don't want to, again, like, overused word, but manifest those bad things.
Yes.
And that's why I have a hard time, like, just thinking about all the good stuff, because I don't want my hopes to be up. And so finding that kind of balance of being realistic but having dreams, I don't know.
Yes.
How do you manage it?
Aww,
my
kitty.
God, this kitty just snuggled on me. I cannot wait to see my fucking dogs.
Yeah, I bet.
Andrew keeps sending me pictures. I'll show you some after, like, full spooning.
Aww.
Tug is in front of Piglet. They're both, legs are the same way. And Piglet has an arm over Piglet. It is the best. The best. And so I got snuggly pictures this morning, too. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Yes, my parents have a dog that I could snuggle. But it's not the same when it's, like, not your dog.
Yes.
And, Biscuit and I have a different relationship because, like, I don't know her that well.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all dogs, but they got her just a year ago or whatever. It's not like before that it was family dogs that, like, boxes and stuff that I'd come and see and had a relationship with. And, like, I could build one with Biscuit, but she kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, you have your story about.
So, can't wait for them to be here.
And I'm sure Andrew is looking forward to
that. Oh, yeah, for some help, for sure, with the dogs. And he's bored.
Yeah.
So, it'll be nice for him to get out of the house and be up here for... I wish it could be a little bit longer just so he doesn't have to do such a quick turnaround, but it gets hard for us all to be in a small space in my parents' house, so...
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. I'm ready to go home, but I'm also not... It's always hard to leave, like...
Yeah.
You and the family.
Yeah, especially the niece and nephew.
Yeah. It's nice to be home and close, but, I'm still not home, so...
Yeah.
I miss my routine.
Man.
Yeah.
And the gray.
I do miss my routine. It's been nice to see people and all that, but... It's still nice to be able to have your routine and be in your bed at the end of the night.
Yes.
So.
#blessed.
Yeah.
Like the friggin' little things, man.
Totally. But stoked to have a few more days and
and I'm excited to see Andrew.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll definitely let you know when he arrives so that we can.
Saturday I might go up snowboarding.
Right. Are you gonna go up there Friday night?
I don't know.
Dude, it's been dumping.
It's been dumping.
I saw Hillary post fucking story today shoveling her deck in Greenwater, and there was like a few inches, and that's in Greenwater. So I'm like, damn.
We were messaging the other day, and she was like, it's been blow or pow, and I was like, what does that mean?
Light and fluffy, baby.
Yes.
Light and fluffy, the best kind of pow, as long as there's a good base. Otherwise, you blow through it and hit a tree stump.
Yes, or like a layer of ice.
Yeah. So she told me she was having a hard time concentrating yesterday because the snow has been so good, and she was working, and again snowed, and has to work today. And I was like, oh, I remember that feeling, because I've been disconnected from that, because I've been like down in Tahoe when it's been that good. You just don't even want to go because there seems to be insane traffic, insane lines. So I've been disconnecting from that for a couple years, but then especially this year not having a pass. But I just have to like not think about it, because I could easily go into the like, oh my God, I want to go. But I've got few more important things to deal with right now in the next couple of days that I just have to like not think about it. And I'm not mad or jealous, though, or I don't have any like FOMO per se. I'm like, fucking go, enjoy it, have so much fun.
Yes.
Proud of y'all for enjoying it, but I can't talk about it or look at it much, because then I'll be like, FOMO. Oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I hear
what
you.
What do I do?
Yes.
And then it will turn me into like not wanting to let go of winter. And when I get home, it's such a vastly different story of it did snow there Monday in Tahoe. Okay. But still, like, gears and mind is shifting towards spring, so it's hard to like get pulled back. I'm like, okay, keep forward momentum.
Yeah.
Especially because I want a snowmobile, and I don't think there's any of that when we're home. Once we get home, I think that's gonna be pretty done.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens. See what it's like. But yeah, maybe
change of seasons, man. It's always hard. So hard every year.
But change of season of life right now too.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been a long one, though.
Yep.
I feel like I've been in this season of life for a very, 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 very long time, and it's finally just changing.
Yep.
Like, as of the 10th is when I, like, officially made the full-time switch. So I'm like, in 2 more weeks, I will see, like, the difference of that, and that's going to be, like, the kind of tell-all of, like, oh, this is what's happening.
This is what this is like.
It's still not the 2 full weeks of, like, working the schedule. So, over the next month, it will be, like, this is what's going to happen for
the next
year.
Yeah.
At least. I would love it to, obviously, like, last longer. I just hope everything works out and it all can continue on in the benefit of everyone.
Oh, I think the boys are here.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Well, so lovely to talk to you in person.
Freaking cute, pal, and you look really cute with that cat right now.
Oh, I love this cat so much.
She's loving it too.
Well, maybe we'll be able to talk in person again sooner than later, but we'll at least definitely try and do it in a regular way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, signing out.
Till next time.
I don't have to tell you bye.
Yeah. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.